Good afternoon and welcome to Cannabis Media's podcast. I'm joined by Ben Hanna from Green Fertigation. Ben, welcome.
Thank you.
Could you tell us a little bit about the company and what you guys do?
Absolutely. So we're located in Brighton, Colorado, and we design and install rolling table and archival racking systems. And we also design and install automated fertigation systems
Cool.
for cultivation facilities across the United States.
Awesome. Now, how many years have you been coming to MJBiz?
This is my first time.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Really? Oh, okay, great. And what are your goals as you're here? What are you trying to achieve?
Well, I want to make some smiles. I want to smile. I want to have fun. And I hope to connect with like-minded people who share a similar vision and goals as I do professionally and hopefully personally, because I prefer to do business with people that I like and get along with and relate to. And I've found so far the show to be incredibly gratuitous in providing those things.
Good, yeah. Well, we first came to the show right after we founded the company in 2015, and then in 16 we got a booth, and then 17, 18,
Sweet.
19, and
Sweet.
so this I think is our sixth
Your
year
booth
maybe.
is set up, man.
Yeah,
you
no.
guys are looking good.
We're having a good time. I mean,
Yeah.
that's for sure. So, in terms of clients, like who is your ideal client? Like, what size grow are they? You know, how are they configured? You know, help us understand that.
So really commercial cultivators. We try to avoid people growing cannabis in their mom's basement, if possible. But you know, really we're trying to service people who are looking for the best, most effective way to commercially scale cultivation, increase yields, produce better results, and possibly reduce the need to hand water and pay for labor source that's kind of a more menial, boring jobs.
Yeah. So with that list of benefits, it sounded like you touched on a lot of sort of ROI things. I mean, is that really how you're able to make the sale? Do people suddenly understand, like, wow, if I go with these guys, it's going to help me, it'll pay for itself quickly. Help us understand the economics.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, a typical table system, I think people are able to conceptualize the benefits and be able to make the projections and sorry about that, getting a little violent here.
Yeah, that's all right.
But they're able to understand, how that could benefit them. I think actually with the fertigation technology, it's come such a long way in the past decade that not all of the cultivators are really up to speed on all of the potential benefits from some of the new cutting edge stuff. And, at the same time, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We're not really asking people to change their methods
right, of course.
or stop doing what's proven to work for them. But if they're open to the conversation, there's some new things on the market that have emerged in the last couple of years that really produce the kind of results that we're proud to say we have a hand in producing.
Excellent. So in terms of states, I always ask this in sort of all of our interviews because it matters to us. We're always interested in when a new state comes online, what does that mean for our clients? Like, and how do you react if suddenly there's a limited license state, like let's pick Georgia, a whopping 6 licenses, and that's it. So
that's a problem.
Yeah, well, it is. But maybe listening about some states that maybe are a little bit larger that have come online, what does that mean for you and your team in terms of what you have to prepare to try and get some of that business?
You mean in terms of utilizing your platform?
Or using our platform, or just what does it mean when a new state comes on, and how will Green Fertigation capitalize on that?
Absolutely. I think education is the first step. I mean, that's something that's a tenet of our business model, and it's something that we hope, even if you don't buy something from us, if you call us, we hope that you leave the conversation knowing a little bit more than you started before the call.
Yep.
And so with the new state, I think that we just want to read as much as we can about the legislation. And,
of course,
the players. Some of the bigger players may be involved in the scene because it seems like they have a tendency to sort of help guide the hand in the way the chips are settled.
You think?
Yeah. And so, it's really like do a temperature check.
Right.
And then just begin to understand what the surrounding needs are and how we can best position ourselves to accommodate the people who have those needs.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, we've done some research on our own because in tracking the licenses, different states have different rules. Like I'm in Connecticut, and I think it's mandated. It must be an indoor grow, period. Like locked door, everything, and that's not true in other places. So it's always interesting to see sort of how these states really do differ in the way they do it. But you touched on this. How do you use our platform? I mean, how do we help you hopefully achieve that?
Well, I really like the platform because it's sort of done a lot of the heavy lifting for me. But it's also like it tests the salesman's mettle, because it's like you can't be rearranging the chairs on the Titanic now. You have to go strike. You have to actually go take action and do the outreach. I will tell you that I've had a bit more success just honestly cold calling people from the directory than I have with the email, but I think that the email has provided some impressions. So when I do actually reach out directly, like through phone or something, people are like, "Oh yeah, I got your email." I'm familiar with you enough to understand your offer. And then when I call them, I've been really impressed with this industry in the sense that they're pretty willing to talk.
I totally agree. Yeah. And what we have found with the database is that in addition to emails, we sort of did a census of our own platform and pointed out that in addition to the emails, we have just as many social media links to LinkedIn, Facebook, Weed Maps, Leafly, all those other touch points. And some people, especially if they're trying to get in touch with cultivators, we've learned that they said, find their Instagram if you can. And we try and put that in there when we get it, because you like some of what they're showing, because every grower wants to show off what they're growing. And so that was a piece of advice that a client gave us. So let's look ahead now. So, this is the first time we've had the show here in 2 years, and the fun thing we like to try and do is ask people, what kind of trends do you see are going to impact us, in the next year as we, come back here a year from now? What do you guys see?
Well, I mean, it definitely looks like the extraction world is really taking off, and also the lighting. I mean, it looks like everybody and their grandma's got a lighting company. What that means for the market, hopefully that means that cannabis is going to be more widely accessible on a national level. And hopefully that means that all the people in this business in this room will in one way or another benefit in a positive way. And, hopefully that will have a greater impact on just, the cultural perception of cannabis and what its place is and role is in society. I think that this event is very instrumental in legitimizing cannabis in the way that I believe it should be legitimized.
Excellent closing point, Ben. I was in the sessions this morning, and they talked exactly about that, where we're looking at close to, a $50 billion, soon to be $100 billion market, and I think all of us here will hopefully benefit from that. So Ben, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time.
I'm here with, let me see, Will. I've almost messed that up, so I wanted to ask again. Will with Treez. Fantastic. I appreciate you hopping on here with me, man.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So what's it like being back at MJBizCon, like post-pandemic?
It's good. Obviously we weren't able to make it here last year, but it's been great. It's good to see everyone back again, at the conference, and it's just good culture here. Everyone's trying to help each other, and it's just a great community.
You're right. It's a really unique environment from that, where everybody really is here just kind of help each other out and really take the industry forward. Yeah. So tell us about Treez. What are you guys doing?
Yeah, man. So we're obviously point of sale.
Right.
We do a lot of different things, from compliance, inventory management, analytics, and really helping kind of just automate the whole supply chain.
Nice.
From a reorder process. Today we're operating kind of more West Coast focused today. Mm-hmm. We like to go really deep in the states that we operate in. So we're talking about 40% of all California operators, retail operators. Turn that guy on.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah, we're powering about 40% of the retail operators in California. Arizona, we're in about 30% of the market. And obviously Michigan, we got a good market share out there as well. And we're expanding into new states. So
fantastic.
We just launched in Colorado.
Oh, wow.
Oklahoma, Missouri, and then early next year we're going to start expanding to the East Coast.
Fantastic. What states are you looking at on the East Coast? You're just going to kind of go through the list.
Yeah, we're looking at Massachusetts, New York.
Yeah.
Obviously New Jersey just opened up. And Florida is another one that we got our eye on too.
Hey, that's fantastic. You guys are growing a lot. Where are you guys actually based out of?
Yeah, we're based out of San Francisco.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. But after the pandemic, we got a lot of work from home.
Yeah.
Teammates. We're expanding the team. We're growing fast. So we got teammates all over the country. We got people in New York, Colorado. I'm based out of Arizona.
Oh, nice.
And obviously California. So yeah.
Right. So how do you guys utilize the Cannabis Media database?
Today I think it's just great. Obviously get an understanding of kind of who's using what. Obviously contacts within the platform. It's been a good. Big help for us.
Hey, that's fantastic. I really appreciate you stopping by, man, and taking a second to chat with us here. Yeah, we're going to be posting this on social media next week and YouTube and everything like that,
man.
so we'll be sure and tag you all, and really appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, thanks for having me, man.
Yep, you're good.
Today we're joined by Greentank Technologies. So welcome to the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
So tell us a little bit about the company and what you do there.
Sure thing. Greentank Technologies is a white label vape manufacturer. We custom design cartridges, batteries, all-in-one disposables for brands, growers, processors throughout North America and really around the world. We supply the delivery device, and then we work hand in hand with the folks to ensure that delivery device and formulation are matching well. The fun part is making them look pretty on the outside.
Yeah, excellent. So you've not been at MJBiz for 2 years. What has it been like since 2019 for you?
I'd be lying if I said it wasn't slightly overwhelming. I don't think that I've had to be on for 4 days straight talking to a couple hundred people every day, but and you can probably hear it in the raspiness in my voice a little bit.
Me as well. I feel your pain.
But it's been fruitful. I mean, it's always a great show. Having last year off was tough, not being able to see a lot of folks that I've worked with in the past, but. Like for instance, I met two long-standing partners that I've been working with for almost one of them well over 2 years, one of them just about 2 years, and we've never met face to face. So got the opportunity to do that this year, so I'm feeling good about that.
Excellent. So, Allister, what trends have affected your business? Like I know going back a couple years, we had Juul in the news a lot, and a lot of regulations popping up, or states saying yes, you can do this, no, you can't. I mean, has any of that affected you, or still impacting your business now?
Well, I think you'd be lying if you said it hasn't affected us or really anyone in a really oversaturated vape market. I'd say compliance is something that will never go away, and folks ensuring that the hardware that they do get is safe and compliant is essential. I don't know that it's the soup du jour, maybe right at this moment. I'd say assurance of supply is certainly something that a lot of folks are concerned with, as they should be, given the current global economic goings on, if you will. So really just establishing trustworthy relationships and communicating effectively on things like compliance, things like logistics and lead times as we go into Chinese New Year and so forth. Those are kind of the two hot topics, and to call them hot topics might be, not the best verbiage, because they're always hot.
Yeah, no, indeed. Now, one of the things that we track, and we've been asking all of our podcast guests, are new markets coming on board. I mean, Cannabis Media, we track licenses, so we're always kind of excited when a program expands or you get a new one. So I'm in Connecticut. They have rec licenses that are going to come on board. We've got New York, New Jersey, New Mexico, all the news becoming new. So what does that mean for you and like your sales team as a market either comes on for the first time or expands? Like what kind of planning do you have to do, and how do you go about that?
Well, a lot of those early stages of a new state coming on fully, rec legal. A lot of the focus for us is understanding some of the pending licenses. So that's a piece of Cannabis Media that we've really enjoyed, is understanding who's going to be a player well before maybe some other folks will know that information. So in that capacity, obviously understanding that is crucial. Understanding, we talked about regulations and compliance. Getting an understanding on all of that is critical as well too. But as it pertains to Greentank and our use of cannabis, I'd say that the pending licenses area really does a lot for helping us understand who the players are going to be in some of the existing states or new states. Yeah,
and as the guy who runs the data team, one thing that we found is, as these new ones come on, we're really striving now to tie them to their other licenses in other states. Like New Jersey just issued 14 licenses last week, and as we went and dug through, we could see that some of these were out-of-state companies coming in. You couldn't tell just by looking at the name, but if you dug deeper, you could see like, oh, they're in a couple other states, and it's just not obvious unless you dig down and figure out. And for you, that may mean you already have a contact at that company, and it could certainly speed up that sales cycle.
It's been tremendously helpful. We've been expanding as a sales team throughout the U.S., bringing on business development reps on the team as well too, and the way that I kind of explain it when we get folks up and running on Cannabis is that it does a really good job of untangling the web.
Yeah.
There's so many sub-level connections and LLC companies that you don't realize are connected until you hop on the website and find out.
Yeah, and then that is a constant game of whack-a-mole for us as we try to untangle that. Like, wait a minute, or why do they have 4 initials here? That must mean something. Then you look around and like the light goes on, and you're like, oh, we know who those people are. We've seen that before. So, in terms of any other trends, like looking forward, what do you see going on out in the cannabis world? Like when we come back a year from now, if we were to sit down, what do you think might happen over the next 12 months?
Jeez.
And that's not a softball question.
That's a big one, yeah. I think we can expect more of the same that we've seen for the last 3 years. This industry is constantly evolving.
Yeah.
New products are coming out every single day, new technology specifically in the vape space. I mean, you come to this trade show and walk around and you see massive stainless steel processing machinery in one booth, and the booth beside it is a gentleman sitting on bags of dirt selling soil from Humboldt County. You know what I mean? So
right.
I think what we can expect is that there will be continued rapid change. A lot of groups are going to be able to, or going to need to, be able to adapt and present products and devices that are next gen to, I guess, stay up to speed with the rapidly changing needs of consumers.
Yeah, no, I think Allister hit the nail on the head. Definitely a lot of technology changes as the industry matures. What we're seeing is a lot of investment on the energy side too, where people are trying to figure out ways to leave a smaller environmental footprint, and we think that's going to have a giant impact. So this is Ed Keating signing off from the Cannabis Media Podcast with Allister Warren from Greentank Technologies. Thanks, Allister.
Thank you.
Happy to have Ed and Steve from Blaze joining us today. So what's it like being back at MJBizCon after the year that was 2020?
Oh man, so happy to be back. You can tell there was a bunch of pent-up anxiety in everybody to just get back out there and see everybody. My favorite thing about being at MJBizCon is, one, you get to see all the new things happening in the industry, all the things coming down the pipeline. But you also get to see friends. This is such a close, tight-knit industry. I see people that I met back in 2009 in Colorado working, and I see them still showing up at this show today, 12 years later, and it's just good to see friends and family and see what's going on with the industry and see how well we're moving forward together.
Yeah, I mean, it's awesome to see the turnout. I think everybody was a little tentative at first on how it would be during COVID, but everything's been super safe, and tons of people showed up. We're happy to see lots of traffic coming by the booth.
That's great. So tell us about Blaze. What have you guys been up to?
So Blaze, man, we are just growing and growing and growing, and we're becoming very well. Yeah, exactly. We're becoming very well known, and people are seeing us and hearing more about us, which is great to hear. Blaze has spent a lot of time doing some great development and really looking to help support a lot of those multi-state and multi-location operators and make things easier for operators at the end of the day. What we recognize at Blaze is we've been in the industry. Our product team is driven by people who have all worked in the industry in the past. Myself in there for 12 years. Everybody 5+ years of experience in the cannabis industry working on our product team. We recognize the challenges that operators are facing. We're here to make solutions, and that's what Blaze has been focused on deeply for the past year.
Yeah, we secured our Series A Series A earlier this year. Raised $8 billion, so a lot of that's been going to making new hires, spending a lot of dev product, and making sure everything's really rolling out well for us. So it's going great.
How have you all been utilizing the Cannabis Media database?
Cannabis Media helps us a lot. One, it helps us understand what new markets that we're moving into are looking like, what those are shaping up like, who those players are, and who some of the people that may not be out there making a name for themselves but still exist. We want to help those people, and so Cannabis Media enables us to be able to find those players, who they are, and get them the help that they need and give them the solutions that they need to operate their cannabis business better. Cannabis Media also helps us in the states that we already operate in. There's constantly new players joining the industry regularly, and so Cannabis Media gives us the opportunity and the ability to see who the new entries are and go and make sure that we're in their faces talking to them and helping them do what they need to do.
Yeah, timing is everything for our software. Some people looking for software before they get their license or directly after, so being able to use Cannabis Media to see where they are, if they're applied or if they're pending, their active status license, when to reach out, when to talk to them, when to set up that demo.
I think my favorite thing about Cannabis Media is it's just proof positive of how much and how fast this industry is growing. and how many of us there are. And true proof that cannabis is here to change the socioeconomic status of the world.
Fantastic seeing you all. Where can people find out more about Blaze?
You can always check us out. Blaze.me is our website. We are, hands down, in my opinion, and I might be biased, the best point of sale and best ERP system out there for cannabis. So definitely check us out, Blaze.me. You can also find us on Instagram, Blaze.hq.
Nice.
We're on LinkedIn, Facebook. Steve's the man. He takes care of all that. He makes sure that you can get in contact with us in any way.